So I have noticed that as I'm growing up, games that are more violent and focus more on the gameplay than on the story have not caught my attention as much lately. Don't get me wrong, I love when a game introduces a new mechanic. I love discovering and mastering new ways to play a game. So I really like games that are like what Naked Jakey describes as goopy goblin brain games. And these are games that are uncompromised with the story and focus on fun through pure gameplay. But lately, when it comes to AAA games, I have had this feeling that the gameplay alone is not enough to hold me in the game. So I'm in a phase where I'm looking for other experience in games. And I actually have been wondering about the use of violence in games because a lot of times to me it seems like the easiest way to make a game. You know, the developers just throw a bunch of NPCs in a world with really weak AI and give you the freedom to kill them with a pistol that can talk, a sword, a bracelet that can talk, a dog, a yellow cute ball. You get the point. And Dead Island 2 was looking exactly like this kind of games. And as I said before, this kind of games lately have not caught my attention. And I developed this opinion because I watched some previews of the game and basically they all describe Dead Island 2 as a brutal, violent, full of gore and guns and swearing. You know, completely running away from the intimate, calm and introspective experience that I'm interested in finding in games lately. But for some reason that I'm still trying to figure out, I'm interested in Dead Island 2 and I wanted to know more about it. So I decided to do my research and see if I'm not being biased. And look, what a surprise! I was wrong in some considerations that I had about the game. I mean, the game is still a goopy goblin brain game, which at this time would keep me away from it, but Dead Island 2 seems to be a worthwhile goopy goblin brain game. So my name is Juan, welcome to Game News, and in this video we're gonna talk about Dead Island 2. So the development of Dead Island 2 has been very troubled. The game was announced in 2014 and at the time actually I remember being very interested because the trailer was super comical and actually visually outstanding for the time. But with the game taking a really long time to be released, obviously, the fans of the first Dead Island basically got tired of waiting, and with that, the hype around the game dropped. But with the confirmation of a release on April 21st, and with the release of a 14-minute gameplay, the hype is actually back. And so is my interest in the game, going against everything that I've been wanting to play lately. So let's take a look at this 14-minute gameplay. So the demo starts in Bel Air. Bel Air? Bel Air? Bel Air. Is Bel Air a French word? Let me check. Bel Air etymology. Ooh, I was right. Bel Air. So we already knew that the game takes place in Los Angeles, and I actually really like the location. Los Angeles is a beautiful place, has beautiful scenarios, and the architecture is actually beautiful. And from what I saw in the game, the environment is looking actually super beautiful. But the environment is not only beautiful, you will also find in the environment several things to help you kill the zombies, such as car batteries and gas bottles. So you can actually interact with things in the environment to help you in the gameplay. So the graphics are actually beautiful, and in the demo I did not see any problems with texture or anything like that. I did notice that there were cars in the game, but you're probably not going to be able to drive them because they have already said that the game will not be an open world but actually have open areas for you to explore. So you will not have long distance to cover, so you're probably not going to need cars, assuming that the open areas are not that big. In Dead Island 2 you will have 6 classes, which the developers are calling Slayers. So the Slayers are Bruno, Danny, Amy, Jacob, Ryan, and last but not least, Carla. And the developers have given a bit of a backstory to these characters, which is nice. At least it makes you not feel like you're playing with a lifeless mannequin, which makes the game more interesting in a way. And each Slayer has 2 innate skills at the start of the game, so that's really nice to hear too. And in the gameplay demo, they use Dani. She seems to be the most agile of the 6, but also the one with least amount of HP. So it seems that with her, you will have to wait for the right opportunity to attack the enemies. And I did notice that she dodges very often, and the dodging mechanic is actually looking super solid. Nothing too weird happened with the hitbox, so that's actually really good to see. And the gameplay with her seems, you know, very fluid. She, you know, moves a lot. She gives these kicks with both of the feet. I don't know how to call that. I don't know if there is a name for that, but if there is, I don't know what it is. and you know, everything is looking actually super solid. The hit seems to connect super well, so that was nice to see. And as I said before, the game focused a lot on the violence, to the point that the developers created dismemberment technology for the game called Flesh, and it works super well. You can break the zombie bones, you can cut off part of the bodies, and you can even melt them, and it seems to work very well. The damage is actually localized, so if you shoot a zombie in the leg, it will behave like a body taking a shot in the leg, something that is actually really impressive. And apparently the game has a skill system that allows you to expand each slayer's play style, you know, giving you the opportunity to customize your character combat style. So the skill system will be using cards, meaning that you will probably have to find those cards in the phases of the game. So they did not show how you're gonna get the cards, but they're not gonna give them for free, so you're probably gonna have to find them in the environment, or you know, unlock them with certain amount of XP. Let's just hope that the way you get the cards are not boring, but you will be able to swap and combine the cards whenever you want. So a very nice addition, because instead of only having one set of skills, with this you can change and customize your fighting style, making the gameplay loop much more interesting. So I was actually happy to hear about the skill system, because in this way you can give more personality to your slayer, but I was a little bit worried too, because the skill system has to be presented in the game in a way to customize the way your slayer fights within his class, and not give your slayer mechanics and skills of other slayers. For example, Dani's gameplay is focused on mobility and dodging, and because of that she has less HP. So with the skill system, Dani cannot have skills that can make her more tank-like, because it would not only break her concept but also take away interest from Ryan, for example, who is clearly the tank slayer. So I hope that the implementation of the skill system is done in a good way that, you know, doesn't kill your interest in other slayers. So during the demo was also shown the weapon menu, which contains the weapon wheel, so for you to choose from knives, pistol, and even a claw similar to the Wolverine claw. And we got to see too the damage bar, strength bar, speed bar, and durability bar of which weapon, showing that you can actually improve and upgrade your weapons. So on the map will be scattered this upgrade station that you can go access them and improve your weapons with perks and other tools. And here I was actually very impressed, because it seems that they will give you a lot of freedom in customization and improvement of your weapons. So during the demo we can see a fire katana, an electric knife, and an explosive hammer. It was also shown a trap which appears to be a meat bomb to attract zombies, you know, showing that the customization will be a big and a strong point in this game. And this is actually really good, because being a game with about 20 hours of duration, the gameplay loop can get boring very quickly, and with all these possibilities of weapons and customization and modification of them, for sure the game will be much more interesting and actually fun. So in the demo we got to see a lot of different zombies, both in appearance, showing that they care about making a lot of variation zombies and not, you know, simply using the same assets, and actually in behavior too, showing the zombies that are more aggressive than others, faster, some of them spit a green goo on you, and we got to see a zombie that appears to be a boss, but unfortunately we didn't get to see much about it. They also showed us the Fury mode, which looks like an ultimate. With Dani you get zombie powers, gaining more strength and agility. It looks interesting, but the effect doesn't seem to last that long, so it's kind of balanced. Although it seems outside of what I'm interested in at the moment, I am actually interested in Dead Island 2. So what I can say, I know it's kind of weird, but I will work on it. So the game looks solid, pretty fun actually. It seems to be full of action, zombie, guns, and gore, everything that my goopy goblin gamer brain likes in a video game but was dormant lately. And Dead Island 2 seems to have woken up, but I have realized that the developers don't want Dead Island 2 to be just a dead brain violent game. The game seems to have interesting and good mechanics and technologies that can deliver a unique experience for players, and of course hours of fun. And I hope they do manage to deliver all this. And this is all for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and of course, peace.